What do you think some of the impacts of the drought are?
A lot of economic loss.
The amount of crops that can be produced.
Less production of farm produce, so prices of groceries would increase.
The resources given to those that produce livestock and move livestock and cattle.
First of all, there's obviously the financial. Secondly, there's the psychological effect. And thirdly, there's obviously the environmental effect.
River systems and all those kind of things.
The farmers, they're losing their industry, their livelihood.
How long do you think a drought usually lasts?
About 5 years.
About 3 years, I'd say, to get back up to, a kind of pre-drought level.
A couple of days to a few weeks to perhaps even for a few years. And so the extent of it really depends upon the severity of the drought.
For some reason, I want to say they're like 7 years.
A drought usually would only last maybe a year if you're lucky, not like what they're going through now.
Maybe 5 years as a cycle.
How much support do you think those affected by drought receive from the government?
Not very much. Not enough at all.
Financially, I think they probably don't receive as much as they should. In terms of a quantitative amount, I imagine that would be somewhere in the tens of millions from the federal government and to a lesser extent from the state government.
Or at least I think it should be upwards of like the $100 million mark.
Not enough.
My guess is, I want to say there is a drought relief program, but I would be surprised if it was anything more than a couple of $100 million a year.
I think they do get some support, but whether it's financial or mental health, there would always be scope to get more, and I couldn't say that they get enough, because you can always give more.
I think they'd probably be pretty good at giving infrastructure support, helping find the next person in the supply chain. Probably also do something along the lines of tax breaks and those kind of other financial support.
Do you know anyone who's been affected by the drought?
I know one friend whose dad works with a lot of farmers, so his work might have slowed down, but that's the closest relationship I've got to drought affected people.
Friends and family?
Personally, I don't, no.
No, not personally.
I have a distant relative who works in a farm up at Cloncurry, and they've suffered really bad through the drought for his work. But yeah, they're really struggling. 3 little kids and battling.
What percentage of Queensland do you think is in drought?
Probably about half of it, really. About 50%.
40%.
I'd say, don't know necessarily about Queensland as such, but I'd say probably be over 50%.
50%?
Probably like 70%. I'd say it's pretty high.
I'd say somewhere north of about 40% of Queensland is probably in drought.